Hey everyone, it's Rambling Hour with Lisa, season 17, episode 9. So I try to, I know you guys know that for the most part every Sunday I'm going to be here anyways, but I still try to do like a little cartoon bitmoji that I put up before I do my live, just so that it shows like a little hint of what we're going to do or what the topic's going to be about or whatever. And today's bitmoji is me with like a gray cloud above my head. That is referring to the fact that I suffer with depression. Sorry, I just want to watch myself for comments. I need to turn the sound down probably. There we go. Okay, so many times people put their beautiful lives online and it looks like everything is just hunky-dory and everybody has it all together. And whilst I absolutely do have a healthy, wonderful relationship, a great, healthy family, a wonderful home, a wonderful garden, and I try really hard not to take things for granted, and I'm healthy myself, those aren't things that I'm faking or anything, but nobody's life is perfect. And I don't want anybody to think that mine is too. I was looking for a photo yesterday of Steve's grandparents' gravestone, like the last time we visited the graveyard, and I couldn't remember when it was. So I was going through the last year or two on our candid photos online on Facebook, and I was thinking about all the art and crafts and decorating and everything that I do, and I just think, wow, I do a lot. And of course, when I put pictures of the home up there, when I do the decorating for every season, it looks, the rooms look clean, and when I put all the pictures together, it looks like the house is clean all at the same time, which is, not realistic, because life is life, and doing crafts and hobbies and living life, the rooms do not stay clean. But yeah, I've just been on some down weeks. I have talked about this in the last week or two, and I am really trying. I mean, part of it is my own fault. I'm staying up way too late and then sleeping too much. So oversleeping makes you tired, and then I'm depressed because my day is gone and I haven't got things done. And I am slowly doing things, but I feel like if I was a train, I'm just either half on the tracks right now, or just there's wheels missing. Like, I'm still a train on the tracks, but I'm just a little bit off track. And I'm just trying to maneuver myself back onto track and into the feeling like I'm moving forward in life or in the direction that I want to go. So I wanted to be real about life and be real with you guys that it's not always, I can do the whole hey everyone, you're Rambling Hour with Lisa, everything's great, how are you guys? Suffering with depression my whole life, I have learned how to do this. Why am I photogenic? Why do I have this? Because of how many times I would be miserable, and people would say, oh, why don't you smile? You should smile more. And it's like, well, I'll smile when I'm happy, right? Especially I hated it when I was walking by myself and someone would say that to me. It's like, what would I be smiling about? Because you don't walk down the street like da-da-da, da-da-da. I mean, sometimes you might smile at people. I get what they mean, because I can see how people's demeanor, you show your demeanor. So I can see what people meant by it. But telling a depressed person to smile more is not the way to solve their problems. Although I have to say that when I first started my own journey with taking care of myself and learning to live with depression, faking it till you make it is part of what you have to do. So I realized that, faking the smiles and doing those things. Sorry, it just cut out there for a second. I was just saying, I realized that faking the smiles in situations and stuff, going with the flow, could make the situations go by better sometimes. And sometimes it was just about looking for the positives in life. And that's why now I'm just so grateful for everything. And I really don't want to take things for granted, because you never know what you have until it's gone. Or Steve's got a toothache right now that's bothering him. I know what toothaches are like. It's so annoying. Or I have a stomach ache right now as well, but that's not that bad. But say you have a really bad headache and you can't focus on anything. When you don't have a headache, you don't even think about it. But when you do have the headache, you can't focus on anything. So it's the same thing, like all these things we take for granted, especially our health or our loved ones or whatever. But like I said, I don't want to just come on here every week, and I would love to be positive and motivate you guys in that way every week. But hopefully me being real and just talking about the fact that I have had shitty weeks the last few weeks. I've been getting I like being productive, and I have been as productive as someone who's been getting the basics done. Do you know what I mean? Like, no room is destroyed in the house. The dishes are pretty much caught up, and well, they are caught up except for like today's dishes, like the dishwasher. There's not even enough to fill the dishwasher, but so the dishes are caught up. The laundry is pretty caught up. Like I'm doing just the basics, but the rooms aren't like how I like them. Everything vacuumed, everything put away, and everything else. But I've been doing the basics, so I'm getting by. But it's been tough the last few weeks, and like the rainy weather doesn't help. But we actually did have some sunshine days there, and actually one of the days I did get outside for a bit, so that was nice. And I am looking forward to getting out in the garden more when the weather changes. But like I said, part of it is just my scheduling, staying up too late and then sleeping too long. And I really need to switch this around. So tonight, I know after my live, I'm going to go get comfy in bed, and I want to be asleep by midnight. Problem is that when you stay up too late, your body gets used to that. And so even though I say I want to be sleeping by midnight at the latest, my body will be like, oh no, it's not bedtime yet, and I might not be able to fall asleep. But slowly we will get me back on schedule, get me back on track, and hopefully have some more positive rambling hours. I'm still going to talk. I can talk in any mood that I'm in, but yeah, I just wanted to be real that it's been a few down weeks. And like I say to the girls with, I call them down days. Down days are like having the flu. Nothing you can do can make the flu go by faster. We're going to get it, and we just got to suffer through it and know that it's not going to last forever. So that's what down days are like too. We know that the down days come and they go. So nothing you can do can make the down days disappear necessarily when you suffer from depression. It's not that easy. It's not like just putting on good music or looking at the sunshine or anything like that will just make everything better. But that it's just a phase. That it doesn't last forever, and it could be a couple days of down days. It could be like right now it's been a few weeks, but I know this routine. I've been through it since I was 18. I know these down days are not going to last forever. I'll get back to my normal busybody self, getting things done. But yeah, I just want to be real with you guys. I don't want it to look like I have everything together. Now, saying that, the good thing about you'll notice that a lot of artists are very emotional people, so highs and lows and a lot of emotions, and then their emotions come out in their art. I watched the Avicii documentary. If you guys don't know who Avicii is, he's a digital, what do they call it? EMD, electronic music, EDM. That's also short for Edmonton, the city that I'm from. EDM, it's electronic dance music. And he was a DJ who you guys would know lots of Avicii's songs that he collaborated on with people and everything else. But he took his life when he was 27 or 28, and it was just a few years ago now. But I watched the documentary. It's called I'm Tim, because his real name was Tim, and on Netflix. And I encourage you to watch it. It's done really well. And where I very much felt sad for him that he was such a good talent in what he did, but that he took his own life. It was very sad. But when I watched the documentary, I saw that he went through all the phases of life. He went through some really dark times, but pulled himself back. He tried to do everything he could to, it didn't matter how much fame or success or money he had. That was never what was in it for him. It wasn't even a matter of the artists that he got to work with and like those goals. If there's something inside you that isn't right, and for him it was mostly insecurity and stuff. It's hard to it's hard to fill that thing if you don't know what it is. He even tried like, you know, not religion per se, but meditation and everything else. It just gave me a really good insight into his life. And I saw that he came to the earth, to the world. He lived his childhood and everything else. He gave his talents and his art and his what he had in him before he left, and fought some demons while he was here. And, you know, and then unfortunately he took himself out, but the life that he did have while he was here was amazing. And I don't think if he looked back at it, he would regret it, or, you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that we had him for the 27, 28 years that we did, as opposed to never having him. And even when I saw him go through drug addiction and his family having to do intervention and some other things in his life, I think, or even the suicide, like, how many of us do we know people who have a child or a cousin or a friend who goes through drug addiction and they haven't given any of them like positives to the world, any, you know, of their, whatever their talents are to the world, or, you know, someone that has taken their life by suicide and again hasn't contributed to the world. So I think his parents should be proud of everything that he's done and given to the world, you know, in spite of the fact that he ended his life. However, what I'm saying is, I watched that. It was very good. I needed it right now just to, you know, to get, you know, help me get back on track and know that, you know, just get focused on what I want in life and where I'm going and where I'm heading. So, but I do suggest watching that. And then what I was saying is that even though I've had my down days, I still like to be productive, and like as an artist, you create in your, so like, it's like when I was younger and I used to write a lot of poetry. A lot of my poems are either about love or they're just like sad and depressed. Why? Because when we're sad and depressed, that's when we sit down and write in our journals or write a poem or, you know, do some art or something like that. It's like when we're feeling. It's not very often that you're in a really good mood and happy and you think, whoa, let me sit down and write about this, or, you know, or do a painting because I'm in a really good, you just want to, I don't know. It's not that you wouldn't do that, and you should do that. You should do, you know what I mean? Do both. But, yeah, I know for me, I wrote a lot of poetry and stuff when I was like down. So with that, because I couldn't do much more than just sit around and, you know, do whatever, just get through the days, I have been here at this spot for the most part and in the dining room creating. So you guys know last week we made the roses on our live. I'm just looking at them now, and some of the parts, how thin some of the pink is and stuff, I really love it. However, I did, and I'll show you guys how to do this. Kimber, who usually watches these, sent me a thing that it's how to make roses out of fondant icing, and she's done it before. And there's a way easier way to do this, so we'll try doing that today. But I am happy with the roses that we made, and then I added some. I added some freesias. I wanted to make some freesias because those are my mother-in-law's one of her favorite flowers. I don't know why I thought that would be, like, I thought if I make the flowers and the buds and stuff all separate and then I bake them and then I'll just glue them on. It worked, but it was so persnickety, took so much time. I want to show them to you. I took pictures of them because in case they break, that's the thing. They're so delicate. And then I also tried to make baby's breath because I don't know why I challenged myself with these things that are like way more complicated than you would think. However, I love how it turned out, but I'll explain something after I show you so this is the bouquet. I made just a cardboard thing for them to stand in so I could display them. You can see the freesias and the baby's breath. And there's some like long dark grasses, and I put leaves on the roses as well. So they turned out well. I like the bouquet, but remember for my elves, we were going to get these delivered to Crystal for Valentine's Day. Yeah, I know we're late for Valentine's Day, but she's getting these delivered to her house. However, I pictured her like opening the door and the delivery person delivering her these flowers. The problem with the house that I have that they're renovating, it doesn't have a door. So then what did I think? Oh, well, I need to make a door. I'll just make a quick door that we can use because they're renovating anyway. So maybe they change the door later, but let's make a quick door. So, as you know, we drink pop in this house. We get cans of pop as well. And for like a 6-pack, a box of 6 cans, 4 of those fit on like a flat piece of cardboard, whatever, like we call it a flat of cans, right? So when you take that off, that flat cardboard with the sides, we end up with a lot of those. So I took that and measured it like with the house, how tall it would be. And I made this first. So you can't see now because I've glued 2 together, but you can kind of see the red in there. That's the bottom of them. So I glued 2 together to make it thicker. On the outside here, all this is my first time trying this, but it worked out really well, and I'm excited to paint it. But I wanted to do the sticking 2 together, and I'll explain in a second why I haven't painted it yet. Although, I don't know how much you paint it when you use 2 separate ones. So this is, the lighter one is drink tray holders, like from McDonald's or wherever, when you get your drinks passed out to you, the cardboard drink holder things. And then the darker ones are the egg cartons, that our eggs come in, like cardboard cartons. So that's what this is. It looks really good. This door that I'm wiggling right now is the second one that I glued on the back, because I thought one would be too thin. So when I made this front one, I actually made this door, which is actually a lot better than this one back here, but I'm not bothered. This one you won't see really. It's the back of the door. So the reason that I haven't glued them on yet is because once I paint them and stuff, I'm going to, in between the 2 doors here, I'm going to put the plastic, the hard plastic, so it's like a window. So this is my door and my wall, and she'll, when I'm done painting this and getting it looking like a door and a wall on the house, and it'll go into their utility room, then she'll answer the door here and get her delivery of her bouquet of flowers. So it's funny how one idea can spiral into many ideas. So that is something that I wanted to show you guys that I've been working on this week. Also, I don't know if I showed you the other week or not that my friend from art class, Paula, gave me some little miniature things. She gave me a little, it looks like a little tree and a little snowman, and then some little spools, like thread spools. And it was but what I thought of immediately was Aaron, the elf, in his North Pole room making a miniature of him for himself. So that was just my blanket falling. So that's when I made this little robin, this little bird. I'm holding his tail, but so I made this little robin because what I envisioned was, you know, Aaron making this little robin. The snowman's going to go on the bottom, but I used a piece of wood. I used the little actual stick. Like, it doesn't just look like a tree. It is actually a piece of stick. And I put it a board. I glued the thing on it. I put a ring of polymer clay that I baked. I glued it on. And then I put the stuff that's called snow. You know, like fake snow that you paint on. Oh, and before I put the snow, I colored that black with a marker. And then I put real soil from my pot, my planted pot there, and I put some on there. So the robin's going to be in the tree, and the snowman is going to be standing on the side here. So this is another idea that I had that I'm actually following through with. So I'm excited to show Paula that I'm using the miniature things she gave me and that it is coming together. So, and then the other thing I've been working on this week is my fruit and veg stand. I really want to get my fruit and veg stand done so that, you know, because before you know it, it is going to be gardening season, and I do want to be out in the garden. So I can't remember if I showed you these or not. So I've made some bigger ones, but these ones are good too. Oh, this one is all right. I don't know if I showed you guys. This is a heart and a cookie that I made. It's like I'm making molds basically. So, and then these are the hearts and the cookies. I haven't painted them, but, well, they're supposed to be heart-shaped cookies and just little cookies. But I'm making molds out of polymer clay, and then you use the molds to make things. So what I'm saying is I was making cabbage. cabbage. Well, I made cauliflowers first. So you make a mold, you like scratch in, you know, you draw in your lines or whatever that you want. The white stuff on there is corn flour instead of talcum powder, like baby powder, but it's cornstarch, corn flour. And once you draw in what you want, you bake it. Then you press in more clay to make your reverse. And then you bake that one. You can see that there's like green polymer clay stuck to it. I can clean this, but this is one of the first ones I made. And I made this one. So these can be used for lots of plants and stuff. I've used this one, or I made this one, I should say. And then when I was looking up cabbage, you can buy them from other miniature makers who have like molds made, and they have some of them that are silicone and other things that, so you can buy the ones that they have that are, you know, maybe better done than mine, but I didn't want to wait for them to come in the post. I also don't want to spend more money than I need to. So I tried to look at their cauliflower, their like brassica leaves, like cabbage leaves and stuff. And I tried to make my own. So let me see which ones go together. So I've made this one. I know I made these out of white, so you can't see them as good. And if I put cornstarch on them, I'm not going to be able to see it very good. But I just had a lot of white. So after I made them, I realized I should have used a different color. But this one. And this one. So before I made these big white ones, I made all my cauliflowers. This is a yogurt container. Steve eats his yogurts every night. So on the cauliflowers, some of them, like the leaves ripped because I tried to make them thin, but I thought if they have holes in them and stuff, they remind me of when cabbage moths eat them. And then the powder on it could be like the powder that I put on it to keep the cabbage whites away. But I can also wash off so you can see it has some texture to it. These are from the older ones that I did, the first ones that I made. But then I made these big white ones to do my cabbage. So those are my cabbage that I've been working on. And I tried to make a cabbage. Remember I told you guys that the clay, when you make it into a long thing so you can cut it, it's called a... My brain shut off. Hang on. What's it called again? A cane. A cane, and you just cut it, slice it. So I tried to make a cane, and it looks pretty cool. You see all the colors in it and swirls and stuff. But it didn't exactly look like it's supposed to for the cabbages. But they turned out quite well. And I don't know if you can see the texture from pressing them on the... So these are like a bigger kind of cabbage that I made. And now I'm going to make some heads of cabbage, like just the rounder ones. So... yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out, especially for not knowing what I'm doing. So that's what I've been doing this past week. Cabbages, cauliflowers. Mom says, hi, Lisa. Hi, Mom. So what I thought we would do today, besides the fact that I've talked all this time anyways, is I'm going to show you guys the roses that Kimber sent, an easier way to do. And then... we can make some cabbages, the round ones. Okay. Thirsty girl. Oh, this shirt that I'm wearing is, you know, use it or lose it, right? This used to be one of my favorite shirts, and then I didn't want to wear it for a long time because it was special, like memorable and stuff. But it's from 1993, Leadership Week. It says, a most excellent adventure, Leadership Week Camp Adventure. And it's the Boys and Girls Club of Alberta. And that was when we went to Kananaskis, I think, in the mountains. in Alberta for a week, and it was one of the best weeks ever. I loved going to camps with the Boys and Girls Club and met, you know, lifetime friends there, and yeah, it was a good time. But this like shirt has been in my drawer, and I thought I'll put this on for a change. Is that? Yeah, there's a hole there. I mean, 1993, it's not a new shirt. And it's always been a misprint as well, even though we all got the shirts. Mine was a misprint, but that's fine. But also, I didn't want to put anything on that was like too nice, because I was planning on painting that today, which I didn't get to. But I was doing other things, so it's not like I was wasting my day. I have to, even though this is the nice side, like with the fluffs, I have to fold this in half because it's so long when I'm trying to sit here. I don't paint over here. I paint in the dining room because I'm not getting any paint on these nice things, but I will bring this in. So let me try and replicate this rose before, without looking at the video. I haven't looked at the video since last week after my live. She sent it to me. So, and then I have my greens ready to go for our cabbage. What color should we do? So we did pink roses. I could do a red rose if you want. I could do a blue rose. I love blue roses because they're not real. There's no way to make a blue rose. And then there's this song, Blue Roses by, oh no, I can't remember his name. Blue roses. Anyways, it was a song Steve showed me by an artist that he likes, and I know the guy's name. I'll have to put it in the comments after, but I have his album on my phone. Anyways, there's a song called Blue Roses that's really sweet and romantic, so we can make a blue rose. I can give it to Steve. Seeing, if you don't know, today is, so when we got married 7 years ago, the day that we had for everybody to be invited was, we weren't able to legally get married on January 27th because his divorce wasn't finalized, because some people just like to make your life a little more frustrating. But anyways, his divorce wasn't finalized and in time. So we still had the celebration with all our friends and family, and that is the day that we celebrate. But legally, we weren't able to get married until February 23rd. So today is our 7-year legal wedding anniversary. And, and I'm also excited to tell you that me and Steve have gone on holidays and stuff before, but we're going away for a few days. And this is like a honeymoon, 7 years later. But this is like like we enjoyed ourselves when we went to, Spain last year, but it was for a wedding, and then we enjoyed ourselves when we went to Italy, but that was to see my friend, and obviously we were in Canada last summer. But this trip that we're going on is just, he said we're going to bring some, books to read, some art stuff to maybe do some art, and it's just a chill, and it's just us, and so it's like a honeymoon. So Mom says happy anniversary. Thank you, Mom. So I'm excited that we're going away on a trip for a few days, and excited about that. But since even before we went to Canada, I let myself eat whatever I wanted in Canada, and you still should go on the trips no matter how you look. You should still wear the bathing suit and go swimming no matter how you look, even if you're not happy with your body. But I'm a little bit like, oh, I didn't even think of the idea of that we could go somewhere like tropical and that, I might want to look good in a bathing suit. It didn't even cross my mind until like summertime. You think about the summer body, but yeah, so it doesn't matter what I look like. However, saying that, we know that Steve's been losing weight and being healthy, so I know that I need to get back on that train as well. And obviously the last few weeks, just trying to function hasn't been easy. So thinking about working out or eating healthier. The thing is, I'm an emotional eater, and it's not an excuse, but yeah, I've just been letting myself eat whatever I wanted while I've been depressed. And kind of like, oh, I'll start later, right? But what I want to do, and actually my hair, you can't tell, but I had my hair in a plait, like in a braid, and I just took it out. But I want to straighten my hair and take some photos. I have this outfit. Okay, so I had this Barbie that I bought that was the closest, it doesn't look like me, but it's the closest Barbie to looking like me. And when I bought it, I did, like, I was bigger, and so I could have taken the pictures then, but I didn't. And then I worked out and lost weight, and I didn't look like her anymore because of the purpose of the Barbie. So before I start doing my workouts, I want to straighten my hair, and I have an outfit very similar. I worked, like, even a hat, the whole outfit, and you can see that she's a fashionista. She's got bigger hips and stuff. So before I start working out and losing weight, I want to take a picture of me in this outfit. And yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but she has green eyes as well. And yes, my hair is not that color, and no, I'm not going to dye it, but I can change the color of it on my computer. So I'll just straighten it and take some pictures like this, and then I can start working out again. All right, so I've taken my clay and made it malleable. Like, you don't want it to be too crumbly, right? So you warm it up in your hands and you move it around and stuff. So not just crumbly while you're working with it, but also especially if it's like new like this, like you haven't worked with it yet, you don't want it to get like flake or get crumbly once it's baked. So what they did is, I can't remember if they made little balls but it ended up being little circles anyway. So yeah, let's do balls, and then I'll flatten them, and then they'll be circles. So obviously, however big your balls are is how big your rose is going to be. And I guess using blue on a blue mat is not the best color to be showing you guys. But you'll get the idea. Maybe I'll use my cutting mat underneath once I get some balls made. So you want your balls to be the same size. I found the not placemats, the cutting mats that Steve bought for the kitchen. They work better for like rolling and stuff on than this one. Well, that ball's a bit bigger. Oh, what am I doing? I want the clay that I've already softened. I'm going to take some off of that one. Let's do about 8, I guess. This is bigger too. Oh, this blue is getting on my hands like the red does, but that's okay. All right, so this will be 5. If we need to make more after, we can, but six. So how are you guys? What's new with you? What have you been up to? I really need to transfer my lives onto, like the old lives, onto YouTube. I've been waiting for the girls to make me some theme music for my lives, but they are just taking too long, so I'm gonna have to come up with something else. I can't keep waiting for them. I need to either force them to do it, which isn't the best way to get something, you know, that you want to listen to, is to force them to make music, or just find another source of some kind of theme. I only need a few seconds of music just for a theme song for the Rambling Hour. But okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wait. Yeah, that's 8. Okay, so squish them into, oh, maybe he used his hands after, let me see. So flatten them like a pancake. I want them flat like that, but I want them like, oh yeah, this isn't the best mat, it's sticking. More open, so I'm gonna just take them like a pancake. And actually, because they're rose petals, they don't have to be perfectly round. So I'm making them thin very thin and flat. Okay, so I'm going to do that for all of them. Thin and flat. Again, they don't have to be perfectly round. This is similar to what we're going to do with the cabbage leaves as well. Obviously not blue though. I told you guys last week that when, you know, if you're not stubborn like me, like I'm a mimic, I just try to mimic what I see. But if you look up tutorials and stuff, you'll find that there's probably easier ways to do things than I show you. So, you know, I'm glad Kimber showed me that there's an easy way to make roses, and it makes complete sense. But, yeah, all it would have taken was me searching, because lots of people have, you know, done this kind of stuff for years. And like I said, she showed me one that was for fondant, for icing, but it's the same process, basically, if you're making roses. For any type of clay, fondant is just like an edible icing clay, basically. A belated happy birthday to Allison's boyfriend, Ash, as well. He had a birthday this past week. He's 28. I might have already said he was 28 before in the past, but I was wrong. He just turned 28, so. Almost done. One more. Okay, so they took two together. You take one and you roll it. This is like the center of your rose. Where are my spectacles? So roll it. I can't get up. I have my table too close. So I've rolled it into like that. And the other one on top of it, you just keep rolling. So that is my rose center. Then I've kicked my blanket off. Okay, so then they had two together like this. I can't remember if can you see what I'm doing on here? They overlapped one onto the other, and I can't remember if they did it with all of them, like a whole snake of them, or if they just did it two at a time. But let's try it with two at a time. Okay, or three or four. We've already got four here. So basically they add them together like that, and those are your petals. So wherever you start on the opposite side, and then you just keep rolling it around. Hang on, that should be the opposite. Those should be on top of, and rolling it and rolling it. And so whether you have them together like that, or you place the next one on top and then roll it around, and then the last one. So we've done 8 here. Again, I said I can make more if I need to. We could have done 2 tones, but they also use like a tool, whichever tool you find works best for you, to so that's the rose, and then they've just put them around the outside, and then they push the petals down so that they're open more. And again, this is me not looking at the video for a week, so bear with me. Okay, well this is not maybe the best tool because it's making little pokies in it, but I'm just bending down some of the petals so it's more open. So that was the easier way to do the roses. Now I'm going to shape the bottom a little bit. And you can put it on, maybe I will as well with this one. I'll do it on a toothpick as the stem. Or how thick should I have some other wood here too. Okay. I made a blue rose years ago. I think I took pictures of it. I don't remember what kind of clay I made it out of, but I think I gave it to someone. But I think I have pictures of it, and I don't remember how I made it. Again, I'm just a mimic, so I just make things how I think they should be or how I see them. So, will these cocktail sticks are quite thin that I have, but the ones in the kitchen might be thicker. But I do have some, here we go. I'll just use this half of a skewer and I'll poke it in there, but I'm going to color this first. Or should I do it after? Yeah, I'll do it after, because then if I put it in here like this now, then when the rose is cooked, I can hold on to the rose to color the stem. So there, I'll color the stem, and then after this is cooked, I'll put some leaves on the stem for Steve. There's our blue rose for Steve. So let's do some cabbage now. I have some colors here left over. I'll slide this over because we're dealing with green now. So I have this box I told you guys about that I put stuff in so it doesn't blow around in the air fryer when I put it on bake. So I'll put the rose in there. So I have my greens here, and they're left over from the cabbages I've already made. And some of them are, I'll show you in a second. I'm just putting my blue away. So some of them are two-toned, like there's two different colors on either side where I've like flattened them together really thinly so that when you make your leaves, so we can try it with this. Your center of your, I know this blanket is nice and warm, but it's annoying. And I'm not gentle with things. Okay, so you could, your center of your, because I've mixed all these greens, like actually like use different colors to make the right colors that I wanted for the other ones that I made. So your center it can be any color that you want. So if you have an abundance of a color, then it doesn't matter what your center of your cabbage is going to be, unless you're going to cut up that cabbage. But these ones that I want to do are not ones that I would cut up. So the center doesn't matter. So I'm going to start with a ball of white. However, I'm going to make it bigger because I'm going to show you what they do too. However, what was I going to say? Ball of white, center. No, can't remember what I was going to say. These are just practice ones anyway, so I'm going to use the colors that I already have waiting here, these double ones, just to see how it looks. So your inside leaves are going to be smaller than your outside leaves, so I'll take some of these skinnier. This is just one color. And is this one color? Nope, this is two colors. So I'll use the one color first. And which mold should I use? I don't know. So there's different ways to use your molds. As you can tell, the ones that have green stuck to them, those are ones that I used cornstarch on to, I'm going to use the more basic veined one, just basic veins. And it has green on it because I was using corn flour. That's what this is right here. Corn flour with a paintbrush and putting that on so the clay wouldn't stick. There's two other ideas that I saw online that people suggested. One is dish soap and water, like a little bit of soapy water on it, which might work. I haven't tried it yet, but the second one that they suggested, and I have tried, and I think I prefer it, even though this moves, is cling film. Like Saran Wrap is a brand, but like cling film, plastic wrap. I don't know what. So you put the plastic wrap on your mold, put your leaf on, these leaves are going to be round. This one's not round yet, but because I want to make the round heads of cabbage. So you want your leaves to be round as well. This one's like a center one, so we're just practicing. But put it on your mold where you want it, and then put the cling film on top of that. So the clay is in between 2 layers of cling film, and then you use your mold and push the reverse one on top like that. And then inside the cling film, you'll get your leaf and you'll see the texture that you got from your mold. And then you peel it off. So this way you can go a lot thinner. It's not stuck to your board. It's not stuck to your mold. And you can put it on your ball. Now, the first ones, the reason I wasn't too worried about it being a circle is because I need to cover all the white anyways. So you probably won't even see this in the end. You might, which is, you know, is not as important for the texture as well. But I'm going to start that as a ball. Now they end up kind of rolling the bottom and having like a tail at the bottom so you can hold on to the tail while you're building this up. But we'll see if that's necessary. Okay, I'm gonna do another one. You can also make your leaves, make a bunch of leaves first. So like I just set that down. If you make a bunch of leaves, and you can do this too, you can flatten it in your fingers to make it even thinner if you want your leaves thinner. This could make 2 leaves, so. Plastic wrap, clay, plastic wrap folded, press, peel, just getting this one ready so that it's not stuck to my fingers. And then I am putting that one on, actually I should put it this way because that thicker stem would be on the outside where in the center, the center vein of the cabbage. And then I'm folding this one on top. I'm doing it straight across, but really, you know, so I can cover most of it, but really you would go a little bit over, just like we did with the roses where they follow the path around. So that covers that. It's already looking a little bit cabbage-like, but we'll keep going. I don't know why I keep putting the blanket on, because when I'm sitting here doing this, watching TV with Steve, that's one thing to have the blanket on, but if I'm going to keep standing up to show you guys things, the blanket's going to fall off anyway, so. Okay, and is there any other white showing? Not really. So, okay, so there's not really white showing. So I'm going to take some of this one that's like a double color and start making my leaves. With these ones, most of the leaves, like if you want it to be the round shape, they're going to be, like I said, covering, you're not going to see the insides. The ones that I made before, these ones, if you want to be able to see more of the leaves that you've made, it's going to be open more and it doesn't look like the round head cabbage that we, you know, probably the most average cabbage that we buy in the stores. There's different types of cabbage, but. So I guess this is probably similar to the way that you would make iceberg lettuce, but the iceberg lettuce would have different veining than the cabbage. I'm sure one of my molds that I've made would work for the iceberg lettuce, though. I'll get to that when I get to my lettuce. I thought, you know, a fruit and veg stand was a great idea, but then where's my bottom? But now I realize that, well, it is a great idea still, but it takes a lot of, there is a lot of fruit and veg, different fruit and veg, so it's a matter of, okay, so can you see that leaf that I'm putting on, I put the darker one on the inside and the lighter is on the outside. I should have maybe done it the opposite, but I could put it all the way down, or I could leave it just a little bit so you can see that. And I'm going to go around. So, yeah, I could have, what am I saying? Yeah, oh, because of my fruit and veg stand, I want it to be full. I want it to have a good selection like you would actually get at a farmer's market or something. So I need to do at least a few of each veg, right? Yeah, maybe I should have put the dark on the outside, but we'll just keep doing it this way. It has a nice edge to it as well. Okay, get off of my fingers. Okay, yeah, sorry, sticky. Put the cling film on top of the mold and then fold the cling film over and then flatten. Open, peel, grab your cabbage. And now, like I said, we're not putting this one across from it. We're overlapping it a little next to it and then keep going in the same direction. And then folding it over as much as you feel necessary. And 2 more leaves, and this cabbage could be done, but I'm going to show you something with it as well. So okay, plastic wrap, clay, plastic wrap, squish, and then I'll do this one. And fold, squish, peel. So I would probably have to look if it goes clockwise or counterclockwise in nature, but putting it there, folding it over as much as you think it should go over. And then our last one. Again, covering, just going next to it. And folding it over. So now this could be finished. And, you know, it need to bake, but you could, at the bottom, you could make a little where you squeeze it together. And make just a little stem. Now it's like a bump, the little stem where I can color that. But see, this is the problem. I squeezed all of our leaves together while I was doing that. And then if I try to open them like this, it might not work because I might have folded them down too much. I got them open a little bit. I mean, we don't really want them open, but we don't want them all squished together. It might as well be a ball. So what the other thing I was going to show you is I'm going to just take some darker green. It doesn't have to be this dark, but I'm just using what's on my thing right now. And using the same veining, or I can use one that's a little more crazy, like curly, crazy, whatever. I'm gonna do 2 bigger leaves. If I can make my clay big enough. So on top of the plastic wrap, fold it over. Squeeze. Hang on, I'm gonna squeeze that in a different place because I had it too low so it didn't get a lot of the, there we go. Okay. I'll show you the texture on this one. Lots of texture. And I'm going to take our head of cabbage and I'm going to put this one on the bottom, but I'm not going to fold it up and around. I'm going to have it at the, you know, like a Cabbage Patch dolls, Cabbage Patch. So in the cabbage, you have the outer leaves that are more older and wrecked and stuff, and you can have your center that's just the head. So that's what we're doing, is just making some outer leaves. Like I said, you can keep them the way you buy them in shops where those big outer older leaves are taken off, or you can add these if you want it to be more of the just picked from the Cabbage Patch and set out for sale. I do eventually want to make like house plants and outside plants for the miniature world, but one thing at a time. So on the other side, do you see what I mean? So these aren't the best or biggest leaves. I was just using the green that I had left, but that way you get to see some of your work with the texture and stuff, leaving it open like that. And then I want to make sure though that my dark reaches the bottom. So I have some that's stuck to the thing here, same color. Even if I put some brown on the bottom to cover, like to be where it had been cut off of the plant, you know, the roots. I still want it to be green on the bottom. Okay. All right, so that little cabbage is going to get cooked, but I will make some more that are more round, and we'll do some purple cabbage as well. Not with you because it is our time now already. It's an hour, but we went over some things, and hopefully this week will be better than the last week. And like I said, I'm going away with Steve, so I will see you guys next Sunday though, and I don't know what we have in store, but it'll be a surprise for me as well. So I hope you guys have a good Sunday. I can't believe February is done. That means it's March. So whether there is still snow and wind and cold, it means that spring is just around the corner, as is Easter. So, and then obviously St. Patrick's Day is in March as well. But time is ticking by, and yeah, where it's crazy. You know, sometimes it feels like winter goes on forever, but it won't, nothing lasts forever. So just like my down days, just like winter, it's not going to be forever. We're going to get through this. All right. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.